So, SNF normally are one of the challengers for this particular division in terms of winning it, are getting promoted. But when you look at the second half here today, after 0-0 at half time, a couple of changes, it was a performance that blew the opposition apart. How would you describe it?
Yeah, similar to what you said. First half we were kind of not really there, and then second half we kind of got it together and put them to the sword really. We were far the better side in the second half, and I think it was visible to see out there, and maybe there was more chances as well, so it could have been even worse. Happy with it.
And when you look at the changes that were made when Rian and Ethan came on for Luke and Connor, that really changed it, because after that there was a lot more penetration past their fullbacks, particularly over on Rian's side.
Yeah, look, I think the two lads did really well when they came in. As you were saying, maybe they had that kind of composure to take a touch. If it wasn't on, come out the other side. But I think in the first half there wasn't much opportunity for the wingers. I think we were probably a bit disjointed, so I wouldn't be taking into that to heart if on Connor or Luke either. It's just that we didn't kind of play well in the first half, but when the lads came on, they did have a big impact. On
commentary, I was crediting the goals to a brace from Ted, a brace from Keane, and one from Darkin. But after coming off the pitch, I was getting a bit corrected by a few people that Keane got a hat-trick. Harrison was on to me, and boys outside were saying it, and I think you're kind of on to me as well. So talk to me through the goals.
Oh yeah, really Keane's 3 goals I'm delighted from. They were absolutely brilliant. Ted's 2 finishes were pretty good as well. That kind of in and out run he made and kept the ball, and then that finish, and then his second goal was fairly similar to Keane's third goal. They were all brilliant goals, but I think it just came from a change in mentality of come on, we need to do a bit more, in the second half. And I think we'd like to see that in the club this year, where if we can, start the first half with that mentality of, can we go for the 90 minutes flat out, instead of just waiting for half time, then discovering that it's not good enough and then changing at half time. Why not start from the start? But credit to Keane, played extremely well. In the second half we kind of made a bit of a switch, me and him. I dropped back and he went forward, and he made the most of it and scored 3 goals, and then Ted done well with his 2 goals, so happy days.
And when you came off yourself, you were telling the management that you had plenty left in the tank, that you didn't want to come off at all.
Yeah, I actually felt really good there. For me, normally I only do 50-60 minutes, but there I felt really good, and I was really enjoying it, because I kind of love playing in that pivot position. I really like it, and plus the game was getting intense. It was moving. There was opportunities wide. There was opportunities in the middle. It was just a really nice time to be involved in the game. So I was huffing and puffing, but only jokingly,
And when you look at the win and look at how many players were actually missing that would have actually been on today's squad between Connacht under 18s, that's serious. That's absolutely serious. When you look at the players that were out on the pitch today, the players that were missing, and raised the lads won the game, that's scary. Yeah. That is absolutely scary, would you not think?
Yeah, I think the same. I think myself and Michael were talking before the game, to have, I think we had 3 games, under 18, the development squad and this squad, and to have all the players missing and still be able to field 3 teams, I think is pretty amazing. And to be able to go out there and do that with 10, 11 of their normal squad missing, just shows where the club is at, and as you said, that's 2 5-1 wins in this league for them, for this team. So the club is in a great place, moving forward, I think.
And speaking of the development team, after losing their first game against the Ballina team that really should be a couple of divisions ahead, in fairness, they've done well since. They've got 2 wins and they got a very good draw away to Conrangers this morning.
Yeah, we heard, I think when we were warming up, I think they got a Con got a last minute equaliser there, something like that. Was that the situation?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, so they were ahead as well and just got picked in the last minute, you know. So fair play from, you know, the introduction of the team this year. Go out in your first game, get well beaten by a team that was very good, and then to kind of switch it around and go out and compete very well in the next 3 games. Yeah, fair play. Again, just a sign that the club is in a great position moving forward. Like long term, I think it's going to be a very special 10 to 15 to 20 years, and hopefully more. You know, so yeah.
So next week is divisional cups. There's the Star Cup for the first team. There's the Tui Cup.
Yeah.
And I think it's the McDonald Cup, or Tonga Cup for the development team. Three interesting games, and I'm sure they're all games we'll all be looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I hope that we could go far in every cup, you know. I suppose one thing is that when you're playing for this club, you've got to win every cup, you know. So I hope that the 3 teams can go well and far and deep in the cups, and hopefully have some silverware at the end of the year. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So plenty of exciting weekends coming up. I know with the first team, the league is pretty much stop-start. It hasn't even got going yet. There's still the Connacht Shield and whatever else, an Oscar Trainer. So they'll be playing catch-up by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think we will be, but you know, I don't think there's anything to take. You know, it's just a game of football. We'll probably be playing some Thursdays, some Sundays. It might work out well for us in the long run. So yeah, plenty of football, loads of chances, loads of opportunities. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah. So
exciting times ahead, and thanks again for chatting to me.
Thank you. 1.
So, SNF, a team that traditionally does well in this division. First half going 0-0 at half time. Performance maybe a bit flash in the final third, but the second half, particularly after the changes, it was sublime to say the least, and SNF really put to the sword thereafter. How would you sum the game up?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Kenneth. We felt in the first half that I think every player decided that we could go on and win the game, and that for some reason then they just dropped their intensity by 5 or 10%, and it became more like a training game. And the first half was just too pedestrian without any intensity, and we weren't really probing enough either. We were knocking the ball around the back, and we were putting nice little triangular passes together, but without any great intent on actually going up and scoring. So at half time we talked about the intensity, and we talked about everybody lifting their pace of the game, lifting the pace of passes, taking less touches and trying to open them up and create gaps by lifting the speed of everything. And I think we did that. The intensity in the second half was much better, and I thought that the 3 lads that came in, I thought Evan Durkin was super for the game. I thought Sean Heaney was brilliant in the game. Keane's 3 really great goals, and I have to say that the 2 wingers that came on, Ethan McGinn and Rian, they really had a hugely positive influence on the game. And then Tom McGill came in to play centre half and allowed Owen Conway go back to his favourite left full position. So overall, the second half was a much more positive. I'd say for a spectator, much more positive. For a manager, much more positive, and I would say for the players, much more positive and enjoyable.
Okay, I was kind of corrected on my goal scoring list, because I had Ted down for 2, Keane down for 2, and Evan Durkin down for 1 on my goal list and on my commentary. And after the game, I got corrected on that coming off the pitch, that Keane got hat-trick and Ted got 2. But talk me through the goals anyway.
Well, because we lifted the intensity, and one of the big things that we wanted from the 2 wingers when they came on was to retain possession. In that we had Luke and Connor, who are very strong runners, and they like to run directly at the fullbacks. But when the game got stretched a little bit later on, we took a different approach with the wingers, and we wanted them to create a second phase and a third phase and hold the possession. and try and, not cross it straight away if the cross wasn't down. And I think that worked really, really well. We started to stitch little movements on the edge of their box, and that's how the goals came about. Where we started to retain possession, and then Cian was, and we know Cian has an unbelievably brilliant shot and goal. He's such a powerful shot and such an accurate shot. He was starting to get spaces outside the box, and all three of his goals were quite similar in that he picked the ball up to outside the box and just finished them really, really well. He's a fine player.
But one of the goals, it nearly ripped the goal out of the ground, actually. He hit the ball with such power.
Yeah, he has that ability. He's a great connection on the ball, and he really pulls through it. He's a really top player. And I thought it was really good today that he came in, because he's more used to playing A football, and he came in today to help us out in the middle of the park, and he showed the quality and the class that he has, and he took the game by the scruff of the neck, and he scored the goals that mattered and put us, made the game quite safe.
And the scary thing, really, there's so many players missing between guys involved with the development squad, the under-18 squad.
Yeah. In a way, we tried to call in 3 other defenders this morning, but they were either moving into a house or away for the weekend or at a family event, so we were quite stretched. We only had 11 starting players because I think 10 of the 18s were away. But that's great. It's great that and I hope the under-18s won. I think they did.
They were 3-1 up the last I heard, I believe.
Yeah, so it's a good day when we can put out an under-18 team and a reserve team and get 2 good results.
So, speaking of the development team, something I haven't really spoken to any of the managers as of yet. They have now played 4 games. They lost the first game to a team that really belongs 2 divisions above, to be fair. But in the other 3 games, they got 2 fine wins and a draw. So 7 points is a very good return for them.
Yeah, and they were missing players today. And they went up to Con Rangers, and I think they were winning in the 94th minute, and I think pretty much the last kick of the game, the Con Rangers got a goal. And that's been brilliant for them, because it's so important that they pick up some wins and draws, because it keeps the momentum and it keeps the interest there. So that's going really well. So
next weekend is Cup weekend, the divisional cups.
That's right.
So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to a trip down to Kilmore.
Yeah, not the easiest place to go and get a result, but we go down there as positive as we can, looking for a good result. And I think the Super League team is
Con Rangers.
Con Rangers, is that away?
I think it's away.
Yeah.
Trying to jog my memory on that one.
That would be a tough game.
Yeah.
And it's a nice break. Everybody just wants to play football, because so many games have been cancelled because of weather, or because of Oscar Trader, or because of the provincial setup. Is that it has really disrupted the start to the league campaign, and there are so few games that all the players now just want to play football. They're very keen. There's only so much training you can do without games, and players can get unsettled when they're not playing.
And of course, with the first team, the season will still be a bit fragmented, kicking off at domestic level, because you still have the Oscar Trainer coming up on the 7th. You have the Connacht Shield quarter-final coming up on the 14th. So it'll probably be after that before they get any real rhythm going in the league.
Yeah, I think there'll be some teams who will have 5 games played before we play our first game in the Super League. So we'll have a lot of catching up to do. So there'll probably be quite a bit of Thursday night football.
Yeah.
And in 5-6 weeks, we're looking out there in 5 or 6 weeks. Hopefully, our new all-weather full-sized pitch will be open, and that will mean that we will not be weather dependent from here on in.
That's something we'll all be looking forward to. Once that's up and running, I'm sure we won't be thinking about postponed games because of waterlogged pitches going forward.
Yeah, and the pitches that are now, we have so many teams now and so many managers and teams looking for grass playing surface, is that now our other grass pitches can get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, when you look at it factually, there's approximately 40 different teams in the club at all age groups, so it's an incredible amount, and trying to fit everyone in and pitch management to go on top is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, 40 teams, incredible. Wow. Yeah, but it's a gauge of the growing nature of this club, and that people want to be involved in a club that has good facilities and where there's good management and where there is enjoyment in sport. So it's great.
So back to the B team, 2 league games, 2 wins, and hit the ground running. I'm sure there'll be tougher days lying ahead further on in the season, so no point getting carried away at this stage.
No, we know that, and it's impossible to go through a campaign without having the odd hiccup here and there. But the main thing is that we stay competitive and we stay positive and represent the club and represent ourselves as well as we can. But we're really looking forward to the remainder of the games. We can't wait for it to become more regular, week in, week out games. And
with the players that are breaking through, like Tom and Ethan and Rian, who all came on today, that makes the whole long-term project so exciting, and players coming through and eventually getting onto the first team, and maybe this year or the year after.
Yeah, it's I suppose that's what we're trying to set up with the development team, with the Premier team, and with the Super League team, is that there's a pathway for any player to play at a decent level and to improve and to grow all the time and eventually play first team football if they have the appetite and the level that's needed to play Super League football. The pathway is there for them.
And of course, if there's anyone out there that wants to be part of the pathway, you're more than welcome to join and prove your place and try to get your place in the first team.
Yep, that's the idea. To give as many players playing time and enjoyment and fitness as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again.